By the way, you know the story about the Jew who invites the non-Jew to come to synagogue, and they agree that the Jew will explain everything to the non-Jew first time in the synagogue. So first thing he asks is, why did they open the ark? No, they opened the ark because the Torah is inside, represents the Shekhinah, the revelation. Oh, that's interesting. And what does it mean? No, it means that we want a higher connection with God. And then he sees that people bow in the Baruch Hu, and they say, why? He say, no, because Baruch Hu, this is the moment, reverence, we show reverence. What does it mean? No, it means that we want to enter in a deeper connection. And then the rabbi takes out the watch, and he says, what does it mean? It means nothing, he says. It means absolutely nothing. So let's build a little bit on the parsha of the week. I have a question to ask you first, and the question is, what was your toughest childhood experience? Think to yourself. What was your toughest childhood experience? I will come back to that later. In tomorrow's Torah reading, we read the story of Joseph and his brothers. Now Joseph is number 2 to Pharaoh. More specifically, we read the part where Judah is in front of his brother Joseph. Now, Judah has no idea that the person in front of him is his brother, the one they had sold and considered dead. And we find the brothers begging him not to keep Benjamin. Benjamin is now the youngest. And they beg Joseph, who asked them, give me your brother till you bring your father. He knows exactly who they are. And they're begging him, say, please, please, please don't do that. Because if you keep Benjamin, our father may die because he already lost a son. So Joseph faces what I will call a memory problem. He has to make a choice about what to remember. Will he focus on the pain his brother caused him when they threw him into the pit, sold him to slavery, and ruined his life? Or will he remember the mistakes he made, how he bragged about his dreams and generate jealousy and hurt his brothers in return? What Joseph chooses to remember will shape his next move. If he focuses on the pain they caused, he might take revenge. But if he remembers his own faults too, he might choose forgiveness and reconciliation. This is the heart of what we call the memory problem. What will Joseph let shape his action? The hurt or the hope? The hope for something better. Think about Joseph in that pit. He's scared, confused, heartbroken. His own brothers, the people who should protect him, have abandoned him. It would be easy to let this memory fuel bitterness and revenge. But Joseph also has another memory. The way he made an alliance with Dad against them. So Joseph could also choose to remember the love that existed before the betrayal. The times they laughed, they worked, and grew up together. That memory could lead him to rebuild what's broken instead of tearing it down further. We all face in our lives memory problems. Maybe someone in your family hurt you deeply, said something cruel, or betrayed your trust. You could focus on that pain and cut them off, or you could remember the love you shared and try to rebuild that relationship. A friend let you down, you feel betrayed, you could hold into that, or you could remember all those amazing times where he was there for you, and give the friendship a second chance. Maybe someone wronged you in a big way, cheated you, abandoned you, or even caused lasting damage. You can't change what happened, But you can choose whether to let that pain define you or to let go and find healing. Joseph's story shows us that we choose to remember what we choose to remember can shape who we will become. If we only remember the pain others cause us, we stay stuck in anger and bitterness. If we also remember our own mistakes, it humbles us and makes room for grace. This isn't about pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about choosing to use those memories to bring healing, not more hurt. What was your toughest childhood experience? Who hurt you? How did that story continue? Or what was your toughest experience as an adolescent? What was the toughest experience as a young adult? What was the toughest experience in 2024? Joseph's memory problem is a question we all face. What will we remember? Let me tell you the end of the story, because this is absolutely amazing. Joseph has a son. You know how he named him? Menashe. You know what Menashe means? Menashe means the one who forgets. Either God or these rabbis were geniuses. Because what they tried to do with the name Menashe is to say that he didn't pass bitterness to the next generation. You know, I remember there's always a family member that you don't talk to and you don't remember why you don't talk to. But mommy didn't talk to. Simply una tía. There's always a tía in the family. You don't talk to. No, I met with the primas, but the tía didn't know because if she knew. So putting the name Menashe, he wanted to stop that part in his ancestry. Basta of rivalry, it's enough already. So in this first Shabbat of the year, my humble suggestion is, I have a confession. And I do it because I have my sister here with me, which she lives in Argentina. And we are a couple of years apart. So the same parents but different life, correct? Yeah, you agree with me? Good. And it's amazing. Sometimes I need to ask her stuff about my mom and my dad, which I didn't know because she was there and I wasn't there. So I created my stories and as I got older and older, I needed to check with her if I'm right or I imagine that in my brain. And this is the confession. As you know, my father and my mother, they were Jewish actors and actresses. They traveled all over the world. And I asked my sister once, how was it for mom to leave me and go? Because she left me. It's a reality. Now that I'm a grandpa, I realize it must be that drive to the airport, leaving a baby because she needed to perform. And I remember all my life I created stories inside of me. In 3 months, they're sending me the ticket and I will be with them, which is true. But those 4, 5, 6 months, I wasn't with them. So I decided to have a memory problem and decide. The 6 months without them, or the 6 months every day in the same 2-star hotel, in the same room, the 3 of us. And then taking the train to the next city, sometimes sleeping in the good train because so you save the hotel night. So as you get older and older, you want to choose your memory having the entire story in front of you. So I made a confession. Thousands of people all over the world now know what happened to me when I was 6 months. What about you? What about you? Which story is still hurting you? Are you ready to do the Menashe shtick? God help me forget. Or put it on a side so you can breathe. And you can breathe. This is what I learned from the Torah. One of the kids asked me the other day, students in school, if it's worth it to every year go back to the same story. Why do you choose, instead of reading the Torah every year, take out the Talmud, and next year the Zohar, and then Freud, and Borges. Why do you need to? I say, because the Torah may be the same. I'm not the same. I wasn't ready to speak about this 20 years ago. And I wasn't ready to speak about this in front of a congregation. But maybe my sister gives me safety net, so I can say, your parents were different than my parents. So it was a different moment in our family. So use it for yourself, so you can begin the year not with a memory problem, but with an identity clarity. Shabbat Shalom.